We've spoken with a lot of founders that are, launching or have launched B2C apps, and a big recurring theme is this community element where you can build almost a personal connection with your users, especially early users. But
Yeah.
it sounds like, you guys are at a reasonably big scale. How many users are on Teuida now?
We just passed the 5 million download just 3 days ago, and then our active users more than 500K. So many users are using our application over the world. As I know, our streak has been 1,100 about 20 days because there are one users who keep our whole streak since we launched.
Yeah. Is it your account that has the streak that's 1,120 days, or is it an actual user? Hey, Woong, nice to have you here today. Do you want to get started by just giving a quick overview of Teuida and the platform generally?
Yeah, so thank you for having me here today. And Teuida is a mobile application where you can practice speaking in Korean, Japanese, and Spanish. So our application is a little bit different with the others because we are really focusing on to providing the experience of speaking with the natives through our interactive simulation. So even this is a virtual situation, but you can have a conversation with the natives based on your pronunciation accuracy. Then you are not only learning the language, but also you can empower your confidence to speak in foreign languages.
So the majority of time you spend in the app is actually speaking and listening to. Is it a real person on the other end, or is it an AI simulation, or?
Actually, both of that, because we don't really providing the one-on-one real-time video call. At the same time, we don't use the AI videos. So what we provide right now is we pre-recorded the videos. The users feel like they are really speaking with a real person because we make the interactive simulation. So based how we can provide in the realistic is we film all the video in personal objective view. So you feel like you are communicating with a person. But at the same time, we have to provide the different reaction based on your pronunciation accuracy or your kind of sentence which you are speaking. So we are matching one or two good fit video based on your pronunciation right after you speak. So you feel like you are really speaking with the people.
So is it like a fixed pattern of conversation? Like you have to give a certain response, and that way you have all the pre-recorded videos. I see. Cool. Okay. So one of the things I'd like to talk about first is it sounds like sometime in 2024, you
Yeah.
guys figured something out when it comes to monetization. Like you had some struggles with it before, and then something clicked at that time. So I'd love to dive deep into like what was it exactly that clicked, and maybe to start like what was going on before that clicked? Like, what was the state of the company? Were you guys struggling to monetize? Did you have a lot of users, but then you just couldn't convert them? Or like, what was the state
Right.
before you figured it out?
Actually, we have the many users who paying our premium users before, but we at the very first time to make our revenue, we use the one-time purchase system, which is the users purchase our 1 month or 3 months or 12 months of premium service. But this is not a subscription model, which is automatically renew the subscription. So the users usually drops the second payments after expire the first one. Our repurchase rate was lower than 10%. So even though we have huge premium trials or premium users, but they don't really renew their premium service. So we didn't really make the revenue before. But after 2023, we added our subscription model, and then we are trying to encourage the user to keep their subscription. So since 2024, we have 52% of the repurchase rates, and then these make us to make the revenue, the profits. So I think the subscription model was working really well to make the money.
Got it. So now you have to be in the subscription model, right? Did you guys close your old way of doing things? So now everyone has to go through the subscription model, and then that way it'll automatically renew if they don't touch it, right? So have you experimented with pricing? Have you experimented with like in general, the conversion flow to try to get people to convert, and maybe where in the process that is, like if it's right after they sign up or if it's after they've already done some things in the app?
Yeah, honestly, we tried many times experiments for our price, but honestly, even though we raised the price, the conversion rate didn't really change. So we keep raise our pricing, and then now we still keep testing our price, because even though we raised our price from $8.99 per month to $14.99 per month, we don't really big change on our conversion. And also at the
That's
same
good.
time, we just launched our we also using the subscription model, so we have to check how the renewal rate is keep
Awesome.
changing based on by increasing the pricing, but it's still same, so we have to keep that. But one thing which we are trying is we are testing the different pricing for different countries, because many countries has different economic systems or economy levels. So we are testing which pricing is really good for each countries, but it's really working well. For example, the Southeast Asia, we reduce the pricing, but it works more conversion rates. So we usually testing these which pricing is bring better revenue.
Yeah. Is it all a monthly subscription, or do people get to choose between a monthly or an annual or maybe a weekly, or how's that structured?
Now we have only two options. One is a monthly subscription, and the second one is the yearly subscription. So for the monthly, you have to pay about $15 per month, and for the yearly, you have to pay $80 per year.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
And when you mentioned increasing prices, when you do that, do you increase the price for old subscriptions at the same time as new, or do you kind of move the other older people into old subscriptions?
Actually, we don't really raise the old subscribers pricing, because the price is kind of agreement each other between us and the people. So we don't really touch the old subscription pricing. So we every time we test a pricing for the new subscribers only.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Have you experimented with when you present the premium plan and try to convert people, like where in the flow, the user flow? And I'm curious what the results were of that if you did test it.
Honestly, we don't really test on that part, because January we just started using the amplitude to understanding the user's activity in our application. Before that, we usually analyze the user's activity in our application with the low data, so we don't really understanding about the user's flow that much. So we don't really test about the when the users really purchase our service or when they don't. But after we check the amplitude, but we are already aware about this, but most of our, 90% of our subscribers subscribe our premium right after they test the first lessons. So it means that most of our subscribers, they decide to subscribe our application very early. So honestly, we don't really kind of room to test when we can make more conversion by driving the users. So yeah, at the moment we don't really test, but we are going.
I mean, I guess there's not much need to, right? Because unless you wanted to show them like even before they do the first lesson, but that probably wouldn't work because they haven't gotten the value yet. So it's already, you can't really move it anywhere now.
And honestly, we tested about for the older users, because most of the new users, when they started the first lesson, they subscribe our application. Some people don't really subscribe at the very first time. About our subscribers, 50% of subscribers who is just signed up this month, but the rest of the 50 is who signed up the last month or previous months. So we are testing when we can drive the older users to subscribe our subscription.
Right. When the new user finishes the first lesson, do you present them very much in their face with the option to upgrade right away, since you know that that's the spot that people tend to upgrade?
Yeah, that's what we do. I think that's one of the reasons why the people mostly subscribe right after they finish the first lessons.
So what does the premium plan actually get you compared to the free plan? Like, what can you do on free versus you have to upgrade for?
Honestly, we have the vision to provide our application for everyone to empower their speaking skills and then unlock their new opportunity in their life. So we are providing our service for free, but there is one limitation, which they can take only one lessons per day. And after the lesson, they have to watch the advertisements. So if you want to avoid the ads and also you want to unlock more lessons one day, you have to subscribe our premium service. But this is not the only thing which we are providing for our premium users. The other one is we are providing high resolution videos for our subscribers. As I mentioned before, we are providing the interactive simulation. So high resolution is really important to feel they are really communicating and interacting with the people. So we are providing this high resolution video for our subscribers. And the last one is we are providing new features for every subscribers first. So every time we launch the new features, we usually do the A/B test for new users. But we allow the use of premium users to test our new features, which we don't decide to launch or not. So the premium users are enjoying our new features before we really launch it.
Yeah.
Do you have like a little community there then? I know I downloaded the app before. You have some kind of chat-based kind of system where you can, I saw you posted updates in there a couple of days ago. So do you kind of use that to release new features to people as well?
Yeah, so we added our community tab to communicate our users, and also allow the users to keep communicate each others. But at the very first time, we allow the users to post on the community tabs, but it's really hard to managing the community posting. So we just block to community tab, and then we just allow users to leave the comments on our posting. So through this community tab, we usually communicating with our users. And at the same time, actually taking charge about the customer service myself. So I usually communicate with our users without any problems or any service feedbacks. And our marketing team just communicating with our users through the social media channels like Instagram or TikTok.
That's great.
Yeah, we've spoken with a lot of founders that are, launching or have launched B2C apps, and a big recurring theme is this community element where you can build almost a personal connection with your users, especially early users. But it sounds like, you guys are at a reasonably big scale. Like how many users are on Teuida now?
Oh, we just passed the 5 million download 3 days ago, and then our active users more than about the 50K. So 500K. So many users are using our application over the world.
Yeah, so it's interesting because the community, we've talked about this community thing primarily as a way to like start growing when you're very small, because it's like your first 10, 50, 100 users can feel much more attached to the product because like they can see that the person that's working on it and everything. But you guys are still, you still have a community tab now at 500,000 monthly active users. So you still feel clearly that it helps the product and it helps people feel like a part of the community, right?
Yeah, I think so, because unlike the other applications, we application will help to users to learn the languages. So I think like the people who want to learn the languages, they want to communicate each others. So I think the community tab is really important feature for us to keep communicating with our users and then binding them to in our application. So it's really hard to manage the community tab because our users are really young. They are teenagers. So it's really hard to manage in our community tab, but still they share about how they learn Korean, Japanese, or Spanish each other. So they increase, and also they increase themselves because we put their streaks on their community ID. So they encourage each others to motivate to keep their streaks, and it makes some kind of positive effect to practice language more and more. So yeah, there are some cons, but we believe that there are more pros. So we are trying to keep our community tab.
So let's talk streaks. So how long have you had the streaks feature, since the beginning, or was it something that you added like after you had already scaled the app?
Yes, actually, at the very first time, we don't really have the streaks because we really focusing on to the kind of education things, because we really focusing on to how we can help the users learn the language. So we are really trying a lot of content tests and then providing more content types to empower their learnings. But after that, we feel like mobile language learners who are using the mobile application, they really need something to keep their motivation, because it's not school or it's not the secondary school, so they really don't go to the school. So they need some kind of things to keep their motivation. So there are many gamifications to keep users' motivation, and streak is the one of them. So we put the streaks. So yeah, as I know, our streak has been 1,100 about the 20 days, because there are one users who keep our whole streak since we launched it.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, is it your account that has the streak that's 1,120 days, or is it an actual user?
Because we really close with him because he used to kind of our intern who can help to kind of
Uh,
communicate the users. He is from the probably South Latin American, as I know. So still he is sending about his streaks. So I understood about because he sent me the one screenshot which he surpassed about the 1,111 days.
oh yeah.
That's great. Did you notice after launching the streak feature that there was an increase in kind of daily repeat usage from users? Was that like measurable in the analytics?
Yeah, I don't really quite remember exact numbers, but as I know, our daily retention rates has been increasing since we launched our streaks at least 2 or 3 percentage points being compared with before those streaks.
Yeah, makes
That's
sense.
great. Yeah.
How in depth is the streak feature? Is it just you have to be in there every day, or is there some customizability? Is there like a streak freezes option where you can freeze a streak for the weekend or something? Like, how is it architected?
Yeah, basically our streak is based on daily studying. So even they daily loading, they don't get the streaks. They have to complete at least one contents per day. So this is our basic policy of our streaks. But still, we don't really discourage our users to lose the streaks and then forgive to learning. So we are providing the portion, which is the streak portion. They can revive their streaks per month, but we are providing one more streaks for our premium users. And also,
Okay.
there are some kind of new features we are going to add within these months. We are going to provide the new another streak portion based on they finishing one kind of mission.
Okay.
Let's talk about that more. So, what is this? What's the idea of missions? Can you explain that in some more detail?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, Teuida is really focusing onto the speaking practice. And also, we don't really want the people to speak 100% native levels. If you understanding my English, I don't really speak correctly, but I can communicate with you. So we are really encouraging the users to keep speaking. So our mission to get the news stream portion, we drive the user to real life situation where they have to using 3 or 5 sentences to complete the one mission by speaking 40 languages. For example, I'm asking you to go to the cafe and order ice americano. Then you have to speak 3 or 5 sentences to get this ice americano. But during this process, we encourage the users to speak those things. So we provide the hint, we help the people to how to speak it, so they can really easily to get the mission. So through this mission, one purpose is we allow the users to keep their streaks. But second thing is we want to provide a more experience of speaking the languages in real life situations.
So, how is the mission different from like your normal lesson or content unit? Because isn't it the same sort of thing where you have to do some, you have to say some things back and forth to complete it?
Yeah, it's a little bit different because in our lessons, they usually communicating with the teacher. So it's more like the one-on-one video call lessons. So they are communicating or interact with the teachers. And after the lessons, we provide short skits where they can speak the 1 or 2 sentences which they just learned from the lessons. Our mission is a little different because they have to recall the sentence which they used to learn 3 days ago or 1 week ago. And also in this mission, we allow the users to choose 2 or 3 options. Because in the lessons or in the skits, they have to speak the sentence, which is they just learn. So they don't have any options, but in the missions, we allow the users to choose what they want to speak.
Got it. And the missions, how do they get presented to the users? And like while they're in the process of doing lessons, you show them the mission, or is there a dedicated like tab in the app that's like this is your missions area where you can just complete missions?
Right now, we are kind of making our product design at the moment. So the very first idea is we are going to provide this mission when the user loads their streak. So it's going to be a kind of pop-up. So we are asking them, do you want to do some mission to get new streak portion? But at the same time, we already doing test this type of content in our curriculum because we want the users to provide more speaking opportunity. Already tested how it's working well. So we are going to do another A/B test, which one is better to drive the users to keep their motivation or to keep their streaks.
Yeah, how do you plan to kind of measure that? Are you kind of going to look at how many people lose their streak, how many times you show that
Yeah.
pop up, how many times, how far along people get in that mission, and then how many people actually use the potion afterwards? How do you kind of measure all of those different steps?
Actually, as I mentioned, we just in the process of the product design at the moment, so we didn't really launch it yet. So probably we are going to analyze all the data from our amplitudes because we linked our application with the amplitude, so we understand how the users are using our mission or the streak purchase.
Yeah, I mean it's a funnel basically, right? Because it's you show it right at the end of the lesson, and it's just like any other funnel. At what step in the funnel, how many people are dropping off, right? So it's
That's
like
right.
how many people reject the mission entirely, how many people like start the
Mhm.
mission but then drop off during it, how many people finish it, and so on.
Mhm.
Makes sense. Are there any other gamification related features that you either have already in the app or that you're planning on? Like, for example, leaderboards or a kind of points system or like XP system, something like that, or an energy system like Duolingo?
Mhm. Actually, I think our team was really weak to providing the gamification because we don't really have any other gamification except streaks. Because we believe that our content is the one of the gamification because we drive them to speak with the people in real life situations. So we believe that these keep users motivation. But we understand we still need the gamification to increase our retention rate. So probably next year, we are going to adding more features like, as you mentioned, leaderboard or XP system, or even kind of customizing their own streak icon. So we are going to test these kind of gamification.
So the other thing I wanted to talk about is marketing and user acquisition. It's interesting because in the beginning of 2024 or whenever that was, all of a sudden, at least maybe doubled or close to doubled the like lifetime revenue that you get from each new user because you figured out how to actually get them to keep their subscription, right, for a longer period. So that unlocks potentially a much higher budget, potentially almost double the budget to spend on paid user acquisition. So have you been scaling up since then the paid user acquisition, and like what does that look like for you guys?
Yeah, that's true. So our LTV has been increasing more than 3 times higher than before.
3 times.
So we can make the better, really huge profit by acquiring one paid users. So our team is keep increasing our paid marketing budgets. So, but we don't really spend a lot because we always worried about we lose the money by increasing our paid marketing. But honestly, we still make the revenue through our paid marketing. So we keep increasing our marketing budget at the moment. But at the same time, we have huge subscribing social media channels like Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. So we put more budgets on creating more contents on our social media channels to acquire more new users.
So do you think more users come to the app from the organic content side or from the paid advertising?
At the moment, about 75% of our users are from the organic users, and
Okay.
only 25% of the users from the paying user.
Okay, let's talk about the organic. I think now that I think about it, your app in particular probably works really well with content marketing because you have to make a library of all this content for the app, right? Like for people to learn the language. So I imagine some of that you can kind of repurpose and use as social media content in a way. Is that true? Do you guys think about it that way or not? Or is it totally separate?
Totally separate because we tested to using our content providing in our application for our social media, but it's not working really well because I believe that our content in the application is really attractive when they can using as a simulation. So it's that difference. But I think I'm very lucky because I have really good talented people in our team who can communicate with our users through the contents because most of our team members can produce a video and they understand about our target. So actually they just posting very fun videos about the languages or cultures and it working really well. So since we started our Instagram, we just surpassed about more than 100,000 followers, and for the TikTok and Instagram, YouTube, we has more than 300,000 followers. So Yeah, we totally different. We are creating totally different contents for social media channels.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Instagram now. This is really worth talking about, I think, because I think anyone who starts a B2C app, they think like, man, it would be like, if we could get a social account to be this big with like this level of content, like it's game over, because like that's what you need in 2025, right, to acquire users. The question is like, how did you get to this point? Did it take a long time where you were posting a lot, spending a lot of money to have someone be posting a lot, and it was just not growing too fast, or did it grow really fast? Like, how was the trajectory like for that?
If we are we are talking about how we can get these followers quickly based on when we just starting open our Instagram account, I think it's pretty quite we took the quite long times, because I think we spent about 3 or 4 years since we starting our social media channels. But if we are talking about the starting point to when our team is really focusing on the social media channels, I think we reached these numbers within the 1 years. So I think that there was a really important thing is to whether we really understanding our followers. What does it mean is our target users who had huge interest about Korea and also Korean cultures. But the tone or the kind of humor code is a little different with the Korean and our target users who's living in the United States or English speaking countries. So in our team, about 40% of our team members are from the English speaking country. So they used to study in the University of the California, or they used to living in the Brazil, or they used to living in the United States. So they know what they like, what the time you should like. So I just open I just ask our team members to whatever you feel you can attract the users, just do it. And then it works really well because they had really creative and they know what kind of content they like, because I'm not really using the Instagram myself. So I don't know what kind of content is really popular in the Instagram world. They are really using their own Instagram and they know what kind of contents the people really want to watch it. And then when I allow them to produce any contents, it works really well.
So basically find people who really understand the exact target user that you're looking for, and then
That's
give them
right.
the free reign to just like do all sorts of like funny stuff and like kind of related stuff, not necessarily even about language learning or like your app in particular, just about in general the interest that's kind of adjacent. So in your case, I guess the Instagram might have a lot about Korean culture generally, not necessarily learning the language, right?
Yeah, I think Jason, you summarized it really well. So yeah, but yeah, because if you go to our Instagram or YouTube channels, the popular content is not really cover about the Korean language. So usually the popular content is cover about the kind of trending things, which is the Korean followers or K-pop followers enjoying nowadays. So yeah, that was a really important thing to understanding the followers or understanding the target users.
Interesting that the time frame was about a year. I mean, it does, like, I think with this content stuff, there's no way around it, that there's no like there's no way to do it fast. Like fast is a year, that's fast. And I think there's no shortcuts. You just need to have someone or more than one person who's ready to invest all their time into it and just go at it for 6, 9, 12, 18 months until it gets to the point where it's like of really big size.
I just want to give applause for our team members, because none of our team members don't want to appeal on our social media channel. They really willing to participate in the social media channel project. So I think I didn't do anything. Our whole team members are really focusing on that, and then they are really enjoying to creating the content and producing and communicating our users. So I think that's the reason how we can reach these numbers.
Was the team that does the social media, did you hire specifically to go and do that? Or were they people that were already on the team that you just said, okay, you used to be doing this, now I want you to focus on the Instagram or the YouTube or whatever?
Actually, as you're already aware, in our team, there are many content creators in our team, because we have to make some videos for our contents. They already have some skill to create the video content. So one day, they feel like a whole team feel like, oh, we need some kind of marketing to acquire new users, but we don't really have the marketing team. Then I have the skill to make the video, and some people, I have a skill to communicate with the users in English, and I understand what kind of content they like. So they just do kind of as a part-time. So they do their job during the work hour, and after work hour, they just making some kind of contents for our social media channels. So with this kind of passion and interest to communicate with our users, I think it motivates our team members to keep producing more users. And now we know how we can manage our social media. So we hire some social media interns who is the college student who is really close with our target users, and they are making the contents.
All right, interesting. Those people that you hire to make the content exclusively, do you pay them on a like do they make more money based on how well their content does, or is it just kind of an hourly rate, or how is that structured?
Actually, we are paying for the social media interns based on how many contents they make per month. And we usually set up the KPI based on the about the impression. And then if they surpass their KPI, we raise their rate.
Makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's probably the right way to do it, right? Because it makes sure all the incentives are in place to produce both quantity and quality.
That's right.
Yeah, so you said you're about 300,000 followers on your TikTok and about 500,000 monthly active users on the app. Is the plan to get to 1 million the same as what you're doing now, or is there a different strategy?
For social media channels, we're trying to using the same strategies. For the applications, I think we need to another strategy to acquire more users. And at the same time, we have to using another strategy to keep our current users. So that's why as I mentioned before, we don't really using any gamification to lock in our users. So we are going to make more gamification to lock in our current users. And also we are providing some kind of personalized application or curation for the curriculums to boost up their language learnings. And also we only using the social media channel and the paying marketing to acquire new users. So we probably focusing on the brand marketing, or we are going to spend more budgets on the paid marketing to acquire more users.
When you said that the audience on social media is not only interested in learning the Korean language, but more generally about Korean culture, and then also you had mentioned that in the app you have this kind of community aspect where people can feel like they're part of a community of people that are all interested in the same thing. Do you think that part of like your future plans for growth might be to expand a bit on that idea of community and have the app not just be like, here's how to speak the language, but also like, I don't know, here's how to like browse some Korean recipes for cooking, or like, here's how to do other things in that cultural world? Or do you think we should stay 100% focused on like the language? The app is for the language learning only.
I don't know how our business is going to be changing in the future, but at the moment, I can tell 100% sure I'm focusing on the language. Then probably there are following question, why then we are focusing on the communication or community or make some communication to communicate with our users through our social media. Our vision is to help the people to not just learn the language. We want to make them to communicate with the others. To communicate with each others, the language is not the only way how we can communicate with each other. Even though I can speak English well, it's different story to communicate with some kind of English speaking people, because I have the understanding about their interests or their culture or kind of their currently uses. So with this community or our activities in social media, we want the people to understand others' culture and understanding others' trend. So based on this understanding, we believe the language learning can boost up, and also we can help the people to communicate each other so much better than when they only learning the languages.
So the long-term vision for the app is to teach people how to communicate effectively, or to specifically focus on the language part?
Yeah, actually, probably we help the users. First time we are really focusing on the language part, but later on we help them to understanding the other culture, because in our lesson we already teach some kind of culture aspects. For example, in Korea we have some sentence, which is we say, I'm going to eat well, like a bon appetit. But in English, we don't really have that kind of expression, right? So we really teaching why Korean people speak this sentence before eating, starting to eat. So we really help the people to understand the other cultures. So now we looks like we are really only focusing on the language, but we fundamentally we help the people to understanding to communicate each others.
Yeah, that's an interesting. We've talked to a couple of founders of language learning apps because there's obviously a lot of them out there, but I think that's the first I've heard of that framework of like, it's not just an app to learn the language. That's primarily what it is, but actually this is an app to learn how to communicate. And to communicate, you need more than language. You need also these other things, this like cultural awareness and knowledge and stuff. So that's a really interesting angle, I think, and could maybe shape some design decisions for the app in the future, because it's like it's a way to differentiate, I guess, where you can say this is where not only you learn the mechanics of like speaking Korean, you can learn that anywhere, but here's you can learn how to feel more at home there, feel like you can really like connect with people there that in a different way. So on the language learning side, then, if that's the focus, how does AI video generation play into this at all? Is that something that you're considering? Like, do you think that in 5 years from now that'll be good enough that people will be like, basically you can have your same app, but instead of talking to a pre-recorded video, you can be talking to like an AI that can go in any direction you want? Like, you don't have to talk about a specific thing, you can talk about anything? Or is that not really the vision that you have?
Yeah, I as I mentioned before, I can sure how the Teuida is going to be after 5 years, because we don't know how the world is going to change. But at this moment, we think like we don't really use the AI videos, because our differentiation between the other languages and our value is to providing the experience of speaking with the people. So even though AI is really developing a lot, but still, when you see the AI video, you feel like it's not a real person. But in our application, when you watch our video, you feel like you are really speaking with a real person. So I think this is makes very huge differentiation between our application and the other language learning application, because we are really hopes the people to empower their speaking skills. Let's say in Korea, there are many people used to learn Korean English for 12 years since their kindergarten to the college, because we have to learn the English. But most of the Korean people can't speak the English because they are really afraid of speaking it. So if you practice with AI or some AI videos, you feel like when you really speak, you have some opportunity to speak with a real person, you're still afraid of speaking it because you're afraid of failing to speak correctly. But in our application, you test a lot or you practice a lot with a real person with failing to speak correctly. But our real person encouraging you to speak and speak and speak and until even you're wrong. So we believe that our application empower your confidence, not only language understanding in language. So at that moment, we keep focusing on to how we can provide a more interactive or immersive videos to users to empower the users' confidence. We are really concerned about using AI dubbing system, which is because all our content is producing in English, because our main target is English-speaking countries. There are many people who want to learn the language from Japanese-speaking countries or some Chinese-speaking countries. So we are thinking about to translate our older videos by using AI dubbing system. So this is only the part we are using AI. And the second thing is you asked about the AI video is going to allow the people to kind of free talking, right? But our main target users are very beginners. Beginning learners, they don't really want to free talking because they don't know what kind of they speak, right? So we help them to provide some situation where they can successfully to communicate with the natives, because we have to empower their confidence. So at the very first time, we are focused on that, but because we have done our business the last 5 years, so there are some people who reached about the advanced level already. So they're asking about to provide some kind of free talking. So probably we should make a kind of AI video to help the people to practice the free talking with AI.
Cool. All right. I think that's a wrap then.
Okay. Well, thanks, G.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was great.